Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the CineFiles Extended Cut, the show where we break down the biggest stories of the week as seen in the original CineFiles, as well as some stories that didn't quite make the cut. So if you like this, be sure to like and subscribe for more. Guys, welcome. I am your host, Matt. We got Justin, Phoebe, and Liam here as per usual. Guys, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Excellent. I'm pretty stoked. Look at this.
Lovely
we have
new
a
table.
new table.
Brand new table.
Lots of
Rounded
space.
edges.
Yeah, I'm glad to be farther away from everyone else.
I'm
This
glad
is
you're
smaller.
farther away from me, frankly.
We're all glad
Maybe
that
Justin
Liam's
will
farther
stop
away.
his staring now.
Yeah, exactly. Now that there's distance, actually, it may encourage it. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
Awesome. So welcome, new desk. We're very happy to have you. Very sleek.
The new character in the show.
So let's just get right to it. What have we been watching? Justin, good movies, bad movies?
Bad movies.
Oh.
No.
Liam and I got to go check out Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
And that movie's not good.
Not good.
The kingdom
It's a
has fallen,
bad
if you
movie.
will.
Yes.
Yes.
More
So
like
I
Fallen Kingdom.
yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, that is
Oh
a good
my
one.
God.
Yeah, there you go.
I really hated Jurassic World.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shooketh.
What?
Shook it.
I really hated
cheese.
Jurassic World, and this one was worse, but I think I almost enjoyed it a little bit more than that one because I thought there were some memorable scenes. Like, I think as a whole, the movie is a mess, and the story is dumb, and the acting is whatever. But the opening scene I thought was a bit more memorable. There's that big set piece that is in the trailer that everyone knows about is really cool.
The
But,
volcano?
yeah, the volcano scene is really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess in contrast to the Jurassic World, super forgettable. Jurassic World, the original.
Do you concur?
I liked Jurassic World a little bit more than I think you did, but this movie's just like very, very, very forgettable.
Yeah.
Just not that interesting.
Are there even like a lot of action set pieces, like action fun scenes that kind of make up for it, entertainment-wise, or is it just kind of?
I think they tried to throw those in, but
Yeah.
for the most part, every time you're not watching a dinosaur, you're like, these people are
Yeah.
not interesting.
They don't make no desire to like flesh out any characters or just like give anybody characters.
I didn't even want them to though. Like the more time I spent with those characters, like I was just like, just get back to the
Yeah.
T-Rex, man.
just we want the T-Rex.
Go back to the island.
But you have to admit though, like the volcano scene is more memorable than anything in that first movie.
It was a cool set piece, and there was a lot going on. Like I like how they were cutting back and forth to the different stuff that was going on the island. But like ultimately, that's all it was. It's a cool set piece, like in a otherwise very forgettable story.
Disappointing. It's funny you keep mentioning the volcano scene because in the trailer I thought that was like the one scene that I disliked the most.
No, that is
it's
like the best scene.
This epic volcano's erupting and then all of a sudden Chris Pratt's character just comes running out like a buffoon, like arms
is silly.
flailing,
There's
like
a lot of
stupid
that.
running. Like
it's kind of like what happens
I'm like,
after
ugh.
that. That is cool.
I have a question. Why did you hate Jurassic World, the first one, so much?
Jurassic World?
Yeah.
Name me one thing that happens in that movie. It's so forgettable.
The dinosaurs attack.
I don't
The
know.
pterodactyl
I
picks
found
up that lady and then throws her in the
I
swimming
thought that was
pool with the-
excessive.
I liked
That was
the
very
end
excessive.
When the big one came and ate the other one.
Yeah,
That's in the
so
trailer.
all the
Yeah.
dinosaur stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
But even then,
True.
like,
because
I
there's
would just rather watch the
proven.
first
Good
one,
point.
like Jurassic Park.
yeah.
And even like
I agree
the
with
second one's pretty good. Lost
That's
World's
a hot
pretty
take.
good.
Don't see Jurassic World 2. It's bad.
Even though Phoebe's going to see it
I'm
tonight.
going tonight, so.
Phoebe,
Oh.
go see Incredibles 2 again or
Go see
something.
Phoebe,
Hereditary.
has this deterred you at all? Has this maybe dampened your spirits
I
into
don't
seeing
take
it?
either of these people's opinions
Wow.
seriously.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm
dang.
just kidding.
We hope you
I wanna
do,
go see
listeners,
it.
though. We hope you do.
Kind of admired the fact that they took a bit of a horror tone in parts, but even then it was kind of like, eh. Like they
Well,
did some
that's what
horror stuff a
attracted
little bit.
it to me because when I saw the trailer, I was like, "This is so horror vibes,"
Yeah.
and I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's a fun angle," you know.
That's what I thought was interesting about this one was that like for me like the reason that I didn't like Jurassic World is like there's no tone in that movie. It's just like
Fair enough.
there's
Yeah.
it's nothing.
Okay.
Whereas this one like at least it tries to do something like it takes that horror tone that kind of
Sometimes.
like
Yeah.
dark
Occasionally. It does.
occasionally, but then yeah, other parts are just kind of like
So when
Other
it comes-
parts, Chris Pratt is like punching 8 dudes.
there are
like-
decisions in that movie that make no sense
it's
at
very
all.
weird.
Okay.
So final verdict is
Not good.
Not suggesting it to anyone.
There's so
Nah.
many better movies
No.
out there. Why don't you just like go see
Very
Incredibles
fair.
2 or Hereditary or
Very
Go
fair.
see Hereditary if you want something scary.
Okay, that's fair. Phoebe, you are going to see this, but what have you seen lately?
I saw Coco.
Coco.
The new Pixar movie. I was very hesitant to watch it because I had heard that it was sort of a ripoff of another one of my favorite animated films, The Book of Life, which is all about like Dia de la Muerte, and it has like this really, really interesting like character design. It's one of my favorite movies, and I was really not looking forward to seeing Coco because it borrowed a lot from that story, like a lot from that story.
Okay.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I watched it and I was like, I fell in love. Like the animation is beautiful. Obviously, it's Pixar. The characters were really interesting. The cast was like amazing. You know, the music was great. I thought it was like incredible.
Did you cry?
I cried a lot.
A lot.
Like a lot. Like I was weeping at the end.
Cry,
it was
baby.
really
Pixar's
sad.
so good for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
I did notice that there were a lot of like plot points that are very similar to like, I guess, you know, the standard Pixar format of films.
Yeah,
Like, there was a scene in the movie where, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but there's something very similar that happens in Monsters, Inc., where they sort of like expose the villain of the whole story and it takes everyone by surprise.
Who was it?
I'm not going to say.
I find they do that a lot.
yeah,
though.
no,
Like
that's
even
their whole
Disney,
thing.
like
Yeah.
Zootopia did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Where it's like it's someone that you think is good for the whole time. The whole
Yeah,
movie,
but
and then-
like it's the very specific way in which this villain is exposed that was sort of like exactly like it was in Monsters, Inc., which I think, for the record, is a far superior film.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was a fun movie. It was different enough from The Book of Life that I didn't, you know, have that gripe with it anymore.
Right.
And the song, which won Best Song at the Oscars this year, was really good.
Did it make you cry?
emotional song.
Did the song make you cry as well?
Yes, it made me cry. The whole
Yes.
movie made me cry. I was weeping the whole time. Okay.
as good as Sufjan, Call Me by Your Name.
Oh.
No.
Liam won't shush
I
about
will
that
not
song
shut up.
or the movie.
It was a good song, and I could see why it would win because it's very sweet. It felt very like, you know.
And it's
soft
versatile.
and-
There's like the
Yeah.
sad version of the song, then there's like the upbeat version
Yeah.
of the song.
I'm really glad that Pixar seems to be returning to original movies. I mean, after Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4, I think.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
gonna be.
I was
Yeah.
talking to Emily, who's our resident Disney expert, and she was saying that it seems like they don't want to do many more sequels, and they want to go back to original
Well,
stuff.
with
Which
John
is great.
Lasseter leaving after this year, they're gonna
boy.
have to get into some new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really have too much time to watch anything this week. I was
Oh,
just kind
boy.
of channel surfing, but then I came across Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Oh, nice.
And I always watch that when it comes on TV. Just kind of
Always.
mindless entertainment. Yeah.
How many times does it come on?
Well, it's because the movie networks here in Canada have like the same 5 movies they play for like the whole month or something like
Yeah.
that. And then they just have them on rotation, so it always plays. But it's just something I always keep on and watch because I love John Hamm.
The cast is great.
Zach Galifianakis is hilarious in it, yeah. Isla Fisher's great.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yes.
Gadot?
Have any of you, you have to pronounce, you
Gadot.
have to pronounce the T.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is news to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't
it's
do
not, not like the French would pronounce it. Have any of you guys seen it or no?
No,
No.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think
I
many
would
people
not.
saw
I don't
it.
know if I'd suggest it. It's like there's a few laughs, but honestly, it's like what, a 2-hour movie, and there's maybe like 3 scenes where you kind of laugh.
Yeah.
And if it's a comedy, that's far too.
That's
few
not a
laughs.
great
Yeah.
clip.
But
Yeah.
those
Not a
those
great
movies are always easy to watch.
That's
like
it,
even though
yeah.
I come out of those like being like, oh, that was kind of dumb. I still like they're
Yeah.
easy to
It's
watch
fun,
if you
yeah.
need something like light. I don't know.
Especially when you're familiar with the cast and you're like
Yeah.
fans of those actors. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough, I would say. So that was What You Watching. We're going to hit you with the 3 biggest stories of the week, but we're going to take a quick break first.
Hey guys, Rebecca and Dan here. Guess what?
What?
We have a long overdue update to our WatchMojo merch. That's right. All new t-shirts with all new designs that show off everything you love about WatchMojo.
What does that mean? Well, you guys have very passionate opinions about pretty much every topic we cover, so why not wear that on a t-shirt?
Are you a movie buff? Can you rattle off your top 10 favorite movies with pride? Then you should definitely own a t-shirt that shows that off.
Or maybe you're a video game fan. You can wear your love of PC gaming on a t-shirt.
Superhero superfan? Ask Me About My Top 10 Favorite Comics is for you.
We've recently partnered with Amazon to create a brand new merch page where you can select your favorite t-shirt with a click of a few buttons. Head over to the link in the descriptions below and you can check out our first few designs. They're pretty sweet.
And the best part about this is the possibilities are endless. In true WatchMojo fashion, we're actually asking you guys to vote on what designs you want to see next.
You'll also find a second link to a voting page where you can vote on your own t-shirt designs and upvote the ones you already like.
I cannot wait to wear this t-shirt out to annoy/impress my friends with my superior ranking of 80s movies.
Anyway, let us know in the comments if there's other merch you'd like to see us make, and see you next time.
Okay, we are back, and the first bit of news we're going to talk about is the new Ninja Turtles movie that is in the works over at Paramount. You'd think it would be the 3rd installment of the franchise already, because there's already 2, but apparently it is going to be a reboot.
Weird.
Isn't it weird?
Very strange to
So
me.
Yeah.
soon after the last one.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I think, they have a new CEO, Jim Giannopoulos, and he just kind of wants to restart everything. So he's like, let's take this from the top. But it's interesting because, like we said, it's only been 2 so far. It's done pretty good at the box office, I think.
Yep.
And
Mixed critically, not the best scores in terms of the reception, but people like it. Some people, I know the Ninja Turtle fan we know likes those movies.
I know a few Ninja Turtles fans that have some weird opinions about those movies.
Yes. But there is Michael Bay. Michael Bay is sticking around and he will still produce. So it seems like a lot of the same team might be sticking around, which is weird for a reboot. You think they kind of changed a bunch, but that doesn't seem to be the path they're taking. I guess what my question is for you guys, is a reboot the right decision? Do people actually even want more Turtles? What do we think?
I think this is a smart move. I think we've seen that Michael Bay attached to movies isn't the worst thing in the world after A Quiet Place.
Right.
And he also produced, I
Interesting.
think he's producing the Bumblebee movie, which
Yes.
also looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll just make a movie called Leonardo or something and make it a romance tale
Make it a
between.
romance. But then what about all the other Turtles? Where do they end up?
I don't know. I guess it'll be an origin story or
It's
something.
like Logan. It's like in the future, all the other turtles are dead. Leonardo's just got a
Damn.
deal.
I think it's interesting. I think they may just go a different direction with it, where it might not be Michael Bayified, and it'll be
Which seems to be the path they're taking with the Bumblebee one, because he is still is still attached as producer.
Right.
But we talked about it in a previous episode, where it just seems like it's kind of void of all the typical Michael Bay-isms, if you will.
Explosions.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll like change up the aesthetic because the turtles in those movies, they went with like a hyper realistic
Yes.
look.
Yeah.
They're creepy.
And
They
it's
look
like really upsetting.
they look
you
like
have to look at
Shrek.
it. Yeah, they do look like
It's
Shrek.
like 4 Shreks on screen.
Ninja
Hey,
Shrek.
don't
Their
diss
faces-
Shrek. Shrek is cool.
Were scary. Very scary faces.
Yeah.
Couldn't deal with those.
It's such a like those movies are so Michael Bay.
Exactly.
Like Megan Fox in them and crazy.
Yeah. And just the dialogue in it too. Which turtle is it that's like the little pervert when he's like,
Oh, probably Michelangelo.
yeah, because there's a scene
Yeah,
when
Michelangelo in real life was a.
like Megan Fox like sees him for the first time or whatever, and she's like trying to take pictures of them in the first one, and then she falls and they're all like looking over her, and then one dude's like, "Oh, she's so hot, I can feel my shell tightening already."
No
And I was
way!
like, what?
gross.
Are you for real?
I mean, the Ninja Turtles have always kind of been a little creepy, no?
I mean, they are like
just like teenagers.
That's like a-
teenagers,
that's a
so they're
village.
you
It's a
know.
big part of their character.
The
They
Ninja
are
Turtles aren't one
teenagers.
thing though. That's the weird thing about the Ninja Turtles is they started off being dark in the comics. They were like a weird, dark,
Really?
like bloody parody of
Was this-
ninja comics, and then it was just like, hey, this would make a great TV show, and then that became that classic
like cartoony
cartoon,
kind of, yeah.
which was nothing like the comics.
Yeah.
Then the comics started to be more like the TV show, and then they were like, hey, what if it was dark again? They just keep going back and forth. So the Ninja Turtles are not one thing. They're kind of versatile. They can do whatever that you want with them. That being said, wasn't that interested in those last 2 movies. I was, however, I did really like many years ago they released that animated.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That was pretty
really
not
good.
bad. Yeah.
That was a good
Yeah.
movie. So hopefully they take some cues from that. I don't know if if it's live action, it might be tough to replicate because they do a lot of cool stuff with the animation.
Fair
but
points.
I think there's a reason to be excited. I mean, the Ninja Turtles are a long-running franchise.
Really?
I think they realized that Michael Bay might not be people are kind of sick of the Michael Bay thing, and maybe that he's just producing. He could like
In
let,
name only, maybe. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, maybe he's just like, yeah.
he's
who
like, I'm
knows?
gonna let other people do their own thing and put my name on it and
Yeah.
reap the benefits. I don't know.
Yeah.
Phoebe, you've been quite quiet. I want to throw it to you and just pick your brain a little bit. Are you that disinterested that you're just
Very
like,
disinterested. I don't know why they keep making movies that nobody asked for and that nobody wants. And it's even more confusing to me that they're making it a reboot so soon after the second one came out. It's just like, why do we keep rehashing all of these old stories? I say this every week because there's always like a story about rebooting an old franchise or like remaking an old movie. Like, stop doing that.
Stop
I
it
hate
already.
it
It'll
so
never stop.
much.
It'll never
Michael.
happen.
I think
No,
you
I know
also,
that,
but I think you
but-
underestimate how much people like the Ninja Turtles.
No, I realize that it has like a built-in fan base. It's just like, you know, the first two were so lukewarm that it's like,
Yeah.
Give it some time,
yeah,
for
that's
people
it.
to
Like, give it some time
forget
and then
about it a little
reboot
bit.
it. Don't reboot it like a few years later. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Worked out for Spider-Man though. I mean, like not long after the Andrew Garfield, we got a Homecoming. I love that movie.
But Spider-Man's always
Yeah,
kind of been
that's a good one.
cool, right? Whereas the Turtles, I don't know.
Hey, the Turtles are cool, bro.
pretty cool. Yeah, they got knives.
They got
They got
Turtles.
knives.
They love
They
pizza.
got attitude.
They
They
love
have
pizza.
those-
I love pizza, so I must love the Turtles.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, it looks like you guys can really relate to the teenager in all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely mess with pizza eating turtles. That's my thing.
Cool.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's time to move on to the next one. I think we've
Please.
exhausted all our points on this. So Michael, I mean, we hope you take this in a different direction. Hopefully it's good. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't hope it's bad. I'd love to watch a good
Yeah,
movie.
we all hope everything's great.
I hope it's
So,
bad. I love watching bad movies.
The next story, I think we can all agree though that we thought the trailer was pretty darn good. It was the first trailer to Creed 2 that was dropped earlier this week.
So good.
And it was really good. I was
Yep.
quite the fan of Kendrick making an appearance
The
via
second
song.
the second that kicked in, I was like, yeah. Oh, this is
Yeah,
gonna be
and
good.
it fits so well too.
Yeah.
The way they cut it with
Oh, yeah.
the boxing and the punches and the
It was
the
such a
cuts.
good trailer.
Yeah. I
Like,
love
it just
the-
had me gripped the entire time I was
Yeah.
watching it.
I love the reveal of the bad guy.
Yeah.
Where they just
Oh,
show the
yes.
back of his robe.
To be honest, when I saw the Drago on the back of
Yeah.
his shorts, I was kind of like, really?
Well, I don't know. They're making like a universe, right? So it's gonna be.
But it's
they're
just
gonna
like
be-
Yeah.
it's like the same story is just like passed down through
Yeah.
I
but I
would've
guess that's
said-
the point of
yeah.
this whole thing.
I
but
would have
also,
agreed with you if it was that in the first Creed. Like if in
Yeah.
the first Creed he was fighting like the son of another one of like the Rocky villains, I'd have been
Yeah.
like, all right, like we get it. It was kind of a cool choice to be like, no, it'll be.
We're gonna wait for the
We're
second
gonna
movie.
we're gonna hold off, and in the second movie, I think now is like a good time to like be like, oh no, there's
I
like this
mean-
greater mythology of all these
Yeah.
fighters. Kind
But
of
his
thing.
trainer still was like Rocky Balboa, right? So you still have like that crazy
Yeah,
connection.
yeah, yeah.
But it is,
No,
like,
for
it is like a
sure.
Rocky movie.
It
or
is a
like
Rocky
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
that's
I
true.
guess, yeah.
Yeah,
But the fact that the villain or like the guy he has to fight is now like someone from the past.
Yeah.
Or like similar to him, like a mirror image of him, who's
Yeah.
like the son of one of those big antagonists in the Rocky franchise.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool way of.
Yeah.
It seems like the obvious thing to do, but I'm excited nonetheless of like
Yeah.
what direction they're gonna go with it.
No, it's true. When I saw it, I was kind of like, "Come on!" But at the same time, I was like, "Oh, cool!"
It's pretty
his
cool reveal.
friggin'
Yeah.
son. Yeah,
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I think it was just like the little cheese factor that I was like, "Oh, really?" But I mean, it's gonna make for an epic showdown. So the sequel does have Michael B. Jordan returning as we all know, Sylvester Stallone as well. But Ryan Coogler is not returning to direct.
Oh, he's not?
Really?
No, he's
What?
not. No.
Busy man, man.
I guess
He
he just made Black
Oh,
Panther.
yeah.
Yeah.
When we have
He's,
time to make this.
He's still attached as like a producer. I don't know if it's just name or whatever.
Do you know who it is? Is it just some
yes, it
newbie?
is Stephen Capel Jr., who I must admit, not super
Has he made
familiar
anything
with.
else?
I went, he's done one feature film, very small feature film, but he's also directed episodes for the show Grownish, which is the
Oh, nice.
spin-off
Yeah.
of Blackish.
Nice.
So he's kind of inexperienced, or at least, you know, when it comes to big budget, kind of big movie fare anyways. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with it. But I was really surprised that Ryan Coogler was not coming back. I know he's been really busy, but do we think that's gonna kind of be a negative point for this?
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan have done like a lot together.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see, like, especially since he did the first one, like how that relationship will change and how the film will suffer as a result, because I think they work so well together.
Yeah.
But Michael B. Jordan is like insanely good.
I'm
Yeah.
really glad his career hasn't taken a dip because of Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
He
he
bounced
was so
back
good,
hard,
and
yeah.
then like, I mean, look at Kate Mara and Miles Teller. Like I feel like their careers have
And
kind of
whoever
dipped a little bit.
was in the Thing costume.
Was
Yeah,
there?
who
So,
I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, like the three movies that Ryan Coogler has made, in each of them, Michael B. Jordan has played like a very key role.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't think Michael B. Jordan necessarily just wants to be like Coogler's
Yeah.
right hand man in
Yeah.
every single feature.
For
So I
sure.
think it's smart to have that kind of. I'm sure that
Yeah.
if given the opportunity, if the scheduling lined up, Coogler would direct this. I really do think it was just a matter of like you can't do
Yeah.
Black Panther
Okay.
and Creed
Yeah.
2. Like
Yeah.
there's just no way.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm really excited. I think that the way that the universe has been built out and the way that it's been set up and the cast, I mean, like from the carryovers from the last movie.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be great. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Not that it should be a measuring stick by any means, but the first one did pretty well in terms of like award nominations and stuff. Sylvester Stallone was nominated for Golden Globe and Academy Award, correct?
I think he won the Golden Globe, right?
He won the Golden,
and famously did not thank Ryan Coogler, which got a lot of people.
I don't remember
that. Yeah.
Damn.
Confusing.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Everyone's like, hey, you forgetting somebody?
Conspiracy theory. That's why he's not directing this one.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going there.
He doesn't want to work with Sylvester
There
Stallone anymore.
were reports about like Coogler trying to get these emotional scenes out of Stallone, and like there may have been some friction there. I don't know if necessarily that's why there was a separation, but there were reports of like I know that there's a scene in which they talk about like Stallone's kid in the movie, and Coogler was like trying to invoke emotions from Stallone's real life.
Oh,
and
yikes.
So there was friction on set.
Whoa.
Reportedly. So that's really interesting.
We're breaking news here on the CineFiles Extended Cut.
It's happening.
That's your
Straight
headline.
from Justice
I just got off the
sources.
phone with Stallone. He was telling me all about it.
Stallone gets
ranting.
Coogler fired?
Yeah, exactly.
Do we know what Coogler's doing next? Black Panther 2? That hasn't
That's a
been
good
announced.
question.
I don't think it's
I
been
am not
announced,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's happening.
Yeah,
I hope
and,
so.
I'm sure.
and I really hope
so much
that
money.
he's at the helm, but I'd like to see him do something in between. I think he should go back and maybe
Make
do
it a
something
little
low
drama
budget.
or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really, really great.
Do we think it's going to live up to kind of the first one, that it'll be on par, better maybe? Not
Remains
as
to be
good?
seen. I think the first one is one of the best boxing movies I've ever
for
seen.
sure,
yeah.
So it's a high bar. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Especially to not have the director back, I think
That's
is a little
But like we
troubling,
said,
but
we're not familiar with this
Yeah.
director's work, so it's
could be better.
entirely possible that
Yeah.
it's as good, if not better.
That's
I
the-
really look forward to it.
That's the only red flag I have. It's not even necessarily a red flag because, like we mentioned, we don't know his work. But you know, the fact that Ryan Coogler isn't coming back was kind of like a little shock to me. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, I'm still super excited to see it.
Great trailer.
Great trailer.
Amazing
So
trailer,
it's a great first step. And you know, we got a little ways to wait. It's coming out in November, December.
End of year.
End of year.
they're going
yeah.
for Oscar Gold again.
Oh yeah, we'll see if they can make it. So the last story, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. You guys have seen it.
Yep.
Yes.
One of the characters, though, you might not have known this by watching the movie, but she was originally written as a lesbian.
Yes.
What's her character's name? I forget her character's name, but she's a paleo-veterinarian.
Yeah.
Did you get any gay vibes from her in the the movie?
No.
There was
And-
no. She barely was in the movie.
Yeah.
Like it was a
She
very
played-
minor role.
Yeah.
A similar role. Her and the other guy, the guy from The Get Down, played a similar roles
Yeah.
to Jake Johnson and Lauren
Okay.
Lapkus in the
Yeah.
first
Gotcha.
Jurassic World.
So basically, I bring this up because originally her character was written in to be a lesbian, and there was a scene that was supposed to reveal her sexuality, but in the end, they cut it out. So we just wanted to maybe get your opinions on that. You know what? Actually, I'm going to read the quote first.
Okay.
Because she was doing an interview, and this is the line from the scene that was cut. I personally think it's a horrible line. It's a terrible scene, but I really want to get your guys' opinion. So apparently, she's in a vehicle with Chris Pratt during this scene, and she looks at him and says, "Yeah, you have a square jaw, good bone structure, tall, muscles. I don't date men, but if I did, it would be you. It would gross me out, but I would do it."
Okay, first of all, that is
I find that
the
so
worst
problematic.
gay
Yeah.
reveal I've
Yeah.
ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It's basically only serves to flatter Chris Pratt and be like,
Yeah,
oh,
did
he's
Chris
so
Pratt write
sexy
that?
and handsome.
Yep.
It's not at all like a meaningful reveal of a lesbian character. Like,
Yeah.
thank God they cut that line out because
I
it
agree.
sounds like really, really cheesy and really, really toned
It's
out.
bad.
Yeah.
Yes. The whole fact that they have to break down what it means to be gay in order for her to come out. It's just like,
It makes
you know,
no
it's-
sense.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
yeah, it
oh,
would
I'm
have no
just
bearing on
gonna
the plot. That wouldn't
Yeah.
have even been the craziest thing said in that movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's some pretty
damn.
bad lines in there. But like that's a notoriously like I'm not surprised they cut it out. I'm surprised it was written at all because that's a notoriously like problematic thing that people have noted that it's like, you know, being a lesbian doesn't just mean like you kind of
Yeah.
don't like men until there's like a really attractive
Yeah.
one that comes
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is basically like, you know, Chris Pratt, he's so hot, he'd turn a lesbian straight. It's like, well,
yes,
Oh my
that's the
God.
thing.
that's not
That's
how it
messed up.
works.
Yeah.
I almost wonder, like, did she? So she said that in an interview. Like,
Yeah.
she came out and said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if that was like written by like some exec. Like
That
some
line
universal
is-
exec being
I feel like
it's really
we need like
cringy.
some.
So often right now, like in the contemporary media landscape, there's like always these, you know, like really, really cringy, like they're just throwing in gay characters
Yeah.
because they're trying to seem like woke. And
Yeah.
like I don't think that there's literally nothing wrong with having gay characters in a movie, and I actually think that it's very positive. But a lot of
yeah.
times they're just throwaway characters with
Yeah.
throwaway lines, and it's just to be like, oh, this movie is woke.
And like have
It's
some
like,
depth
it's
to those
not,
characters.
it's
Have
not.
some like
There-
depth to
yeah,
those characters
There's
too.
no depth. They're just like pawns. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
The
so
other thing is
frustrating.
like, and it happened with Lando recently.
That's-
with
yeah, I
Star
wanted to bring
Wars,
that up.
Where it's like, yeah, Lando's pansexual, but it's like, then say that in the if that's true, then say it in the movie.
Yeah.
It seems like a cop out to be like, psst, hey guys, just so you know, he's totally pansexual.
At least
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody though. Like,
Don't
it's
tell
not-
anybody.
Don't. It's
Just
a
watch
secret.
the movie with that in mind.
Yeah, just keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Just,
But at least
yeah.
I find the scenes in that they were kind of like playful and like flirty with it. So you're just like, oh, it's interesting.
People call that
it's subtle, but it's not like as beat you over the head as
Yes,
this.
it's
and
not as-
like,
yeah.
you
That's
know,
pretty
very-
cringy.
That's it.
But like there was the term is Rowlinging, I think. It
Oh,
comes
yeah,
from
yeah.
J.K. Rowling because at the end of the Harry Potter series,
After
the
she's
book was
written.
guys, by the way, Dumbledore's
Dumbledore.
gay. It's like, well, that's not in the book. Man.
Rowlinging?
Rowlinging,
Rowling.
Rowlinging.
So weird.
Yeah, it's not the
I think-
greatest.
Yeah, we need to find a better term for that.
I think that like it boils down to the fact that LGBTQ plus people deserve better representation than
Yeah.
this, and like I definitely good that they cut that line.
Yeah, just
I think
shoehorning
so.
it in.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like terrible.
It does a disservice
Yeah.
to that community.
Yikes.
But at the same time, I mean, we do have movies that are touching upon that in good ways. You know, recently Moonlight. So
for sure.
The
Yeah.
best. Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name. Yeah. Any
Where they're
other
actual
thoughts or-
characters and it's not just like, psst, guys.
This side
Yeah.
character that has
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
characterization otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loves Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Thinks he's so hot. Like that's. So
I bet it was Chris
What a-
Pratt's PR person that was like,
There's
get
not
it.
enough
Get it in
lines
there.
that point out how attractive Chris is.
And
We need
it's
some,
like-
throw some in there.
Do you even need a line to point out how good looking he is? It's he's
in
ripped.
tight shirts
He's a
every single
good-looking-
scene.
Exactly. You don't need that.
Yeah.
You know, we get it. You're
Silly.
trying to sexualize him. He's the selling point of your movie.
He beats
Someone-
up like 20 guys in that movie.
Yeah,
like
he's just
we all know
throwing
he's
punches.
badass.
yeah.
I love to hear someone like leave the theater going like, you know, they just didn't point out how good
Yeah.
looking he was. Like I wish there was more lines about how attractive Chris
Man,
Pratt
that's
is.
so funny.
Yeah. That's crazy. Any final thoughts before we move on to our next segment?
Don't go see
Stop.
that movie.
Stop doing this. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
One, don't go see this movie. Two.
Excellent. That's a great way to end it. So those were the 3 biggest stories of the week. But like I mentioned before, some of them don't make the original episode. So we're going to talk about those guys next.
Hey guys, Rebecca and Dan here. Guess what?
What?
We have a long overdue update to our WatchMojo merch. That's right. All new t-shirts with all new designs that show off everything you love about WatchMojo.
What does that mean? Well, you guys have very passionate opinions about pretty much every topic we cover, so why not wear that on a t-shirt?
Are you a movie buff? Can you rattle off your top 10 favorite movies with pride? Then you should definitely own a t-shirt that shows that off.
Or maybe you're a video game fan. You can wear your love of PC gaming on a t-shirt.
Superhero superfan? Ask Me About My Top 10 Favorite Comics is for you.
We've recently partnered with Amazon to create a brand new merch page where you can select your favorite t-shirt with a click of a few buttons. Head over to the link in the descriptions below and you can check out our first few designs. They're pretty sweet.
And the best part about this is the possibilities are endless. In true WatchMojo fashion, we're actually asking you guys to vote on what designs you want to see next.
You'll also find a second link to a voting page where you can vote on your own t-shirt designs and upvote the ones you already like.
I cannot wait to wear this t-shirt out to annoy/impress my friends with my superior ranking of 80s movies.
Anyway, let us know in the comments if there's other merch you'd like to see us make, and see you next time.
Welcome back to the CineFiles Extended Cut. If you want to check out more, we also have this as an audio podcast, and you can get that on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. So it's time for the cutting room floor, the stories that didn't quite make the cut for the original. And we're going to start things off with some Star Wars. Star Wars.
Again?
We're talking about it, but we might not be talking about it for a little while. Because the story is that Lucasfilm and Disney are putting a halt on all Star Wars, or a Star Wars story
Movies?
The anthologies.
Yes.
What
do we think?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think they're scared.
well, Han
they're
Solo
scared.
I think
did
they're
really
scared.
bad.
Over a
They're
Solo?
scared of all the trolls online.
Oh.
Whoops.
Literal trolls.
Oh no, but it's okay. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think there's so much backlash to Solo and just everything in general that they're like, I don't know. Give me an Indiana Jones movie.
Wow.
that come
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Give me an Indiana
That's
Jones
like a
movie.
dark
Let's not go
turn.
there in
Put a
that
pause on
direction.
Star Wars.
Let's not go there right
Indiana
now.
Jones.
So Phoebe, you were chomping at the bit here. Go for it.
Chomping at the bit.
Chomping.
I was chomping hard. Exactly what he said. I think that you know what, it's good because they learned their lesson. I think we don't necessarily need the Solo movie, and people really didn't respond well to it. And now they're just sort of taking a step back and, going with what they know people will like. And I don't think that they'll never make like a Star Wars story again, because like with Rogue One did really well. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's good that they're, sort of distancing themselves from that for now, so they can work on what they know people will like.
Yeah. Justin, do you concur?
I mean, they've announced so many freaking movies already. Like, what's going to be the clip on these?
3 trilogies.
There's 2 separate trilogies. There's the supposed Mangold Boba Fett movie. There's talks of an Obi-Wan movie. It's like, when are all these
It's too much. And
when are all these coming out?
Yeah.
This is the thing. Remember when the first one came out, A New Hope? No,
Force Awakens?
I don't
Force
remember.
Awakens.
I don't
The
remember.
Force
when
Awakens.
Not born.
The Force Awakens. That was the first Star Wars movie in how long? The hype was
Wasn't
real.
that long.
It was a good amount.
10 years?
Yeah, it's about.
Yeah, well, compared to now, every 6 months or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, so it's a long time, and I feel they just need to get back to that kind of. It's like at least 1 year I find isn't even long enough. Maybe if they start doing like 2 years between movies, they start building that kind of anticipation and that hype again.
I felt that for The Last Jedi. Like when the saga movies come out, I think the hype is still there. People get genuinely excited.
It's 2 years between, right?
And for Rogue One,
only
the
one,
excitement
wasn't
was
it?
that
it's 2
2
years.
years
It was
in
2,
between.
yeah.
Well, for Rogue One, the excitement was like, oh, this is like a new thing,
Something
like,
we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I feel like they tried to have their cake and eat it too with Solo, where it was like a new familiar thing.
Yeah.
Well, I said it before and I'll say it again, but Solo should have come out this December.
Yeah.
I think people would have reacted better to it if there was a year gap rather than a 6-month gap.
And if it wasn't sandwiched in between all the other big blockbuster movies like Deadpool.
Yeah,
and
for
Infinity
sure.
War
I don't know what they were thinking. No wonder it bombed.
Yeah.
I think I read something today that I can't remember if it was just the best Disney Star Wars movie or like the best Star Wars movie in general. Did you see that?
You're talking
where
about
someone,
a poll?
Yeah, they did a
yeah.
poll and they said that like the majority of fans thought that Rogue One was like the best Star Wars movie or the best Disney Star Wars movie.
Disney.
I don't know.
It was
Disney? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we have one coworker that would agree with that.
Yep.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
I don't
good.
agree with it. I think it's one of the better ones.
I think Rogue One does something really smart, which is like the whole movie is like a good movie. It's like a very solid movie, but the ending is just so crazy and exciting and hype that you leave the movie theater just being like,
Yeah.
What did I watch?
man, that
Yeah.
was crazy. Because that movie has a lot of pacing issues.
Yeah.
The first half is like, where's this going?
Oh yeah, I saw it
But
at
then-
like 10:30 at night and I almost fell asleep.
The third act though was like really great. All the stuff on the
for sure.
final planet.
That's
is
when I
great.
woke up and I was like, oh,
And you
man.
go into
Yeah.
Darth Vader and you're like, oh man, I'm so ready for this. And then the movie ends. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
That was
wow,
great. Yeah.
incredible stuff.
I would maybe say it would be personally my second favorite of all the Disney Star Wars movies. My favorite hot take for the internet, but it's probably
Last Jedi?
Yeah, probably The Last Jedi.
I think I'm gonna go the other way and say Force Awakens. I love Force Awakens.
And that was really good, but it
yeah.
was we've seen
The
that story
excitement was
before.
so high. I enjoyed myself throughout the movie. I love J.J.
I
Abrams.
feel like it's a weird thing to just be like, hey, we're pumping the brakes. I think like they should change their strategy certainly and
Yeah.
like what's being greenlit and what they're moving ahead with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe even changing their strategy in terms of interfering with these projects. Like let's not forget that like Lord and Miller had an idea for this
Yeah.
movie that was just totally abandoned when they were fired and like that's the kind of thing that changes the entire outcome of a movie
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
switch directors midway through.
And Kathleen Kennedy is getting a ton of heat from the online
Some of it's
community.
some of it's not warranted.
Some of it's not warranted. Some of it is. I mean, if you're gonna hire directors to bring their vision to a movie, you gotta let them do that. You have to let them do what you hired them to do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like that was the case.
You can't just halfway through being like, oh, we don't want this.
Yeah. And it's just so many directors have been fired
Yeah.
by the Lucasfilm, the new guard of Lucasfilm. That's the one concern that I think is valid. Like, I'm not one of these people who thinks like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's ruining it with the propaganda of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't buy into that, but I do think that there is some mismanagement going on. You can
Oh,
see that just by the
100%.
amount of people that are losing their jobs.
Yep.
I agree with that.
It's very fair.
give us an Indiana Jones movie, please.
He
Isn't
really
there
wanted
one
to talk
coming?
about that.
Didn't Spielberg?
Not soon enough.
We did talk about it on the CineFiles Extended
Yeah,
Cut.
that was like
in
2
previous
months
episodes.
ago.
That was like one of the first episodes.
It was, yes. Hopefully you guys remember that.
I barely remember it.
I barely remember it myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good. Let's just move on to the next one. Next story. Liam is really excited.
I've been
about
chomping
this
at the
one.
bit as
Yes.
Matt's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
Let's change it from cutting room floor to chomping at the bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually
Our
pretty
new
good.
segment.
So story 2 on chomping at the bit. Liam's favorite movie, Gotti.
Gotti.
Starring the famous Liam.
John Travolta.
There you go.
Wait. I want to mess up his name like he messed up
Adele Dazeem.
Idina Menzel's name.
So John Travolta stars in this movie, Gotti. And it's going viral because it's got a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
But it doesn't end there. There is
It does not.
There's
so
much
much more.
You know, I'm going to throw it to Liam because he is so obsessed with this story.
I
feel you
Matt
deserve-
wanted to cut this story from the cutting room floor, and I had to tell him not
We
to.
almost cut him.
Whoa.
Damn.
I did not know about
I
this.
want to hear Liam tell
Explain?
the story of Gotti.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know the true story of
No,
Gotti.
the behind the scenes. I wanted you to break it down for me.
So this movie has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes critically with critics. It has like 77, or at one point it had 77% audience score, and more audience reviews than things like Incredibles had, Ocean's 8 had, but it made like $1 million at the box office. So
Yeah.
the math doesn't add
Nothing,
up.
yeah.
Math does not add up, and
Yeah.
so a lot of people were like, "This is weird. Like, how does this? Are they making accounts?" And I think a lot of the user accounts that were made had only reviewed Gotti and like one other movie that was distributed by the same people.
Okay.
So there was a big conspiracy there and then the Gotti Twitter account posted a video, and it said like, who are you gonna trust? The critic trolls or like the audience or like people like you? And it was just like so
good.
cringy. Yeah, and I thought it was funny. Also directed by a guy from Entourage, Kevin Connolly, I think.
Oh.
And the music done by Pitbull, which
Oh,
is I think
God.
is
What?
hilarious. This movie is
God.
ridiculous.
that
this
just
is really
sounds.
I don't think it's playing here yet, but I want to see it.
I want to see
Everything
it
you
too.
just said, it seems like critics didn't even give it a chance. They're just like, oh, all of that, 0.
Can I just take
No
this
thanks.
opportunity to point out that critics need to stop with the puns? Like,
Oh,
You were
God.
sending us some pretty funny.
there was all the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, which takes like a snippet of the review and just like makes that like stand in
Yeah.
for the entire thing. Were like, I'd rather wake up with a horse head beside me than watch this movie again. Or like, this movie ought to sleep with the fishes. It's just
love
like,
it.
guys,
It's-
like, stop.
It's so brutal. It's like, oh, you've watched Godfather? If Godfather, you must know gangster movies. I'm definitely gonna take your word for it.
Change this movie's name to Luca Brasi because he's getting whacked. It's like, no, that's not funny. You can't
John
just-
Travolta's getting whacked.
We're only laughing because of the voice he put on for all those listening and watching.
I think it's ridiculous that like they can't just be like, this is a bad movie and why. It's just like, no, we got to throw in some crime movie jokes.
Yeah.
It just makes me cringe. Like, granted, this movie's awful, but like, there's more interesting ways to say that than just
Yeah.
like
I think
reference from The Godfather.
It's insane that they thought they could, like, if this conspiracy is true, which I think it is, because like nobody saw this movie. Like, how does it have more reviews than
Yeah.
Incredibles or all that stuff? Like, how they thought they could get away with it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just seems so fishy.
If
We'll
I
keep,
may interject here,
course,
I think
please
that this
do.
whole situation is very sad. I actually read an article about John Travolta on IndieWire. It was like, can John Travolta's career be revived at this point? And apparently this movie
boy.
was like a passion project of his,
Oh,
and he had been
no.
working on it for like 10 years. And, you know, John Travolta has had a slew of terrible
Yes.
roles. Like, he was, you know, really good in like Grease and Saturday Night Fever.
You're going way
Yeah,
back.
and
No,
then he
but
was
he-
in Pulp Fiction.
He already had one career resurgence. I think you only get one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like it's just terrible. Like he was even in Hairspray, which I think is a good movie.
Yeah. That's
pretty good, yeah.
Opposite Christopher Walken, who was like incredible in that movie. He was like, you know, he was just so like amazing,
so funny.
And John Travolta was just so terrible in comparison to him.
Yeah.
and it's just so sad. Like he's just like
You're making me
it's
feel
bad.
sad for
Everything
trashing
is
this.
bad. Like
It's bad when you fail at a passion project. Like, look at
Yeah.
why am I blanking? He was Batman. Ben Affleck. He did
Oh my God.
Live by
by
Night.
Night.
That was his passion project. everyone shit on it, and he became Sad Affleck ever since.
Staring out on the beach into the
maybe
distance.
that happens to
I just think
Travolta. I hope not. But
you can't make it up. Like a John Travolta gangster movie with music by Pitbull.
Yeah,
Directed by E from Entourage.
It's just like definitely a lot of bad decisions culminated in this terrible film.
And then like the fact that like the tweet, like if you haven't seen the tweet, like look it up. It's so funny.
Cringy.
It's like something like they're trying to make critics seem like they're like the internet trolls.
Like internet trolls.
Well, they're definitely
keyboard.
trying to like pander to that part of the internet, or you know,
like
the internet that hates Rotten
but
Tomatoes.
Like it's like you made all these accounts. Like it's you that are making this movie.
It's just like a last ditch effort to like make some money off of this movie.
Yeah. It's kind of smart. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And like
not funny. It's sad.
The thing that people are saying online is like it's a 0%, but it's not like one of these movies that's so bad it's good or that is enjoyable. It's just bad.
Yeah,
just pure bad. And I haven't seen it, but I
still kind of want to see it.
Yeah, no, I'm out on this.
I just want to hear the Pitbull score.
I'm in.
You can get the Pitbull score online afterwards.
We'll record an episode in the theater watching it because nobody else will be in there. I'm sorry, this is so mean.
Hey, you guys are speaking your truth. I
John
appreciate
Travolta, come on the
that.
show.
Our audience does too. So when it comes out, you guys go see it.
Yeah, and
then you talk about it in What You Watching.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh yeah.
Deal?
Thanks.
I'm so glad you let us talk about this.
Excellent. I was never gonna cut it. I was just teasing you. It was fun. You were really nervous.
If you cut it, you would have been swimming with the fishes.
Yeah.
Nice.
You would have woken up with a horse head in your bed.
Yeah. So the last story in Cutting Room Floor, close to our hearts because it's Montreal. It's kind of Montreal based a little bit here. But Xavier Dolan, director of critical hits such as Mommy and others, he's been cast in the It sequel.
This is
what?
crazy.
I am just finding this is an authentic reaction. I did not know that we were talking about this. Oh
like
my God.
he's an actor. He's acted in movies, especially in his own movies, a bunch of French Quebec films.
He also, I didn't know this, but he does the French dubs for like he was Ron. in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
Honestly,
That's cool.
Xavier Dolan is one of, like, from what I understand and what I know of what he does, it's like I find he's like one of the hardest working people in the business. He writes his own movies, he edits his own movies, he directs them. When he's not working on his own movies, he's doing dubs and subs for other movies. Like he's just all.
I don't know if he's doing subs.
Yeah. Well, he's
literally writing it out.
He does subtitles for his movies and other.
Oh, interesting.
So he does do dubs and subs. He does. He's a very hard worker. But the news here is that he's cast in the It sequel alongside Jessica Chastain and others, Bill Hader,
James McAvoy.
This cast is really exciting.
I'm excited because I've never seen him act in an English film.
What's his role? I need more. What is he going to be playing?
I forget who he's playing. He's one of the boys.
One of the boys.
One of the boys.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that they had cast everyone. I had seen like a list, and
I don't think they've casted everyone yet.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's interesting because his newest movie, The Death and Life of John F. Donovan, he had Jessica Chastain in the movie, but had to cut her out completely.
Think there's gonna be bad blood on set?
That's awkward.
I don't think so. I think they're actually like really good friends. I mean, obviously, it would suck to be cut out of a movie.
I hope they bring that tension to the film.
But I just thought it was interesting that they're in this together. The first thing I thought it was like, oh, they're still good. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Not convinced.
Not convinced. That's what we needed. We need someone.
Maybe we should show up. We should show up to
feathers.
Oshawa, Ontario, where they're filming. And is that where they're filming?
In that same phone call I had with Sylvester Stallone regarding Creed 2, he was just like, yeah, and Chastain's pissed. She's not happy.
Watch out for that movie.
I'm really excited about this. I think Xavier Dolan is like really great in the movies that I've seen him in, like in J'ai tué ma mère. He's really good in that.
Yeah.
I'm curious what he's gonna be like in a English role.
Same.
Yeah.
Samesies.
That's gonna be interesting.
It is a weird casting decision.
Yeah.
It is weird. It's like it comes out of the blue. This one, I feel.
For sure. Because I don't think it was like a big headline or anything. I think it was just like, Xavier Dolan.
And the thing also, it's like he's huge in like Europe and like the Cannes market and everything, but North American audiences I don't think are very familiar.
I don't think he's
going
to
be. People stand up and clap.
Yeah.
Like everything that he does, he gets a standing ovation. He just goes to orders something at a restaurant. People are like, unbelievable, brilliant.
He's given awards for mediocre films. I mean, that's how much they love it. Yeah.
I can't say he's going to be a top build, but.
No, yeah, I agree.
It's pretty cool, though.
Cool,
it's
though.
definitely
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's totally out of left field. That's like a really interesting casting choice.
And considering all the other casting choices have been like Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain, like these big names, and then they're just like and an independent filmmaker from Canada.
Yeah.
In the lead role.
I'm most excited to see Bill Hader, I think.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
Same.
The cast is shaping up to be great. I'm pretty excited for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Especially, I think it was a big concern, like for me, and I know for like a lot of other people, is the reason why it was so good was because the kid actors were so great.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the sequel is just going to be adults with only like sprinkled scenes of the kids. So it's But with this cast, I think it's shaping up to be pretty darn good.
I have a
Pretty
question.
good.
Is the director Luca Guadagnino? Is he coming?
That's
No.
the guy that made Call Me by Your Name.
Oh man, who
You're
am
saying-
I?
Andy Muschietti.
Oh,
Andy,
Muschietti.
yeah,
Sorry.
Muschietti.
So is he back to do?
He's
Wow,
back.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
I can't get two Italian people mixed up like that. He's back for this one.
Yeah.
And is he making anything in between? Like I thought.
That's a good question.
I don't think so.
So he's going right back into making.
Yeah, I mean,
think so.
you gotta strike while the iron's hot. Is that the saying?
There you go. You nailed
Nice.
it. Yeah.
I suppose.
You gotta
Chomp on
chomp at
that
the bit.
bit.
You gotta chomp on the bit.
You got to chomp at that bit.
I'm
That's
not gonna
important.
live that down, am I?
No,
Chomp at that bit.
sorry, buddy.
We've
We're gonna
already
have to
renamed
make
the
it,
segment.
into a
We're
segment.
getting T-shirts made. Sorry, man.
Cool. So we'll just quickly talk about some of the new releases. Nothing too big coming out this week. I mean, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is the big one.
Sorry, that's coming out this week.
It's coming out today.
I thought they canceled that movie.
My
Just
God.
based
Guys,
on your
never
review.
mind. Never
Yeah.
mind. You know what? We're gonna go back to the drawing board. See you next year. Jurassic World.
So
Fallen
nothing came out this week. It's kind of weird.
Don't listen to. If you want to see it, guys, you go see it.
I'm going to see it.
There you go. Listen to Phoebe
Kingdom. I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
or listen to
I'm
Liam.
never talking to you again. I'm kidding.
Fine.
So it's up to you guys whether you want to see that
Yeah.
or not.
Go see it. Don't tell me what. Don't
you-
let me tell you what to do.
There's no other big blockbuster. There's a movie called The Catcher Was a Spy, and that's starring Paul Rudd.
The Catcher
what?
was a spy?
How did I not know
Catcher
about
Was a
this?
Spy. Paul Rudd. It's a very small movie. I don't think it's gonna make much money.
Catcher was a spy.
The
Like
Catcher
the
was a
Catcher
spy.
in the
Catcher in the
Rye?
Rye.
Yeah. Oh, is it a play on words with that? Perhaps.
I think so.
Yeah,
Well, probably.
yeah.
It would make no sense if
Probably
it
would
wasn't.
be. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
so
yeah.
that is out. You guys can Google it, see what the plot is. I mean, could be a nice alternative to Jurassic World if you're taking these two boys' advice.
Or just go see Hereditary again.
Yeah,
There
you
you
know
go.
what?
That's an
Honestly,
option.
that's the best course of action.
we got a Hereditary ending explained video coming out today.
There you
Watch
go.
that.
Yeah.
I
If
slaved
you haven't seen
over
it-
it yesterday.
If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch it though, because there's spoilies.
It explains the ending, so
There you go.
don't. If you
So
haven't seen it.
those are the two movies coming out, and of course Hereditary that came out last week. So guys, those are your options. You probably have a few more. Just check with
Incredibles.
your local listings.
oh my God.
The Incredibles.
Open up a newspaper,
Infinity War
check
is
your
probably
local
still in
listings.
theaters.
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, so I think that basically wraps up the show, guys. As usual, thank you so much for listening. And if you like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more. And we're also a podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. So for myself and my panel over here, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to our MojoTalks YouTube channel for the video version of the CineFiles Extended Cut.